You have been lied to your entire life. You were told that power belongs to the strongest, the loudest, the ones who swing the biggest sword or write the biggest check. You bought into the delusion of meritocracy, that if you simply provide more value, you will receive more respect. Nonsense. Look around you. The brute is merely a tool for the clever. True power is never seized by strength alone. It is engineered through scarcity. There is a sickness in the human soul, a defect in our wiring that the masters of this world exploit daily. We do not want what we have. The moment an object, a person, or an opportunity lands securely in our palm, its value evaporates. It becomes mundane. It becomes background noise. Ask yourself, do people ever truly respect what you hand out like scraps? Or do they worship what they can't quite reach? The truth is cruel but liberatory. Human beings do not crave abundance. They despise it. If you flood a market with gold, gold becomes pavement. If you flood a relationship with unqualified availability, your presence becomes suffocating. They crave restriction. They don't desire what lies in their hands, but what taunts them just beyond their grasp. Restriction is the alchemy that transforms the ordinary into the priceless. Consider the employee who always says yes, the reliable workhorse. He is always available, always eager to please, drowning his superiors in abundance. And what is his reward? He becomes invisible. He is treated like furniture, necessary perhaps, but utterly unvalued. He is stepped on because he has made himself part of the floor. Now contrast him with the one who withholds his time, the one whose calendar is a fortress, the one who says no without explanation. He is hunted, he is feared, and because he is feared, he is obeyed. When he finally grants an hour of his time, it is received like a papal audience. He understands what you do not. Value is not inherent. Value is a function of difficulty. Today I am handing you the blueprint to this mechanism. These are the weapons of those who bend desire itself. I give you the 7 iron laws of engineered scarcity. The first law is the veil of distance. Never be fully seen. Familiarity breeds contempt, but mystery breeds obsession. The second law is the hourglass. Always impose an artificial time constraint. An open-ended offer is worthless. A closing window panics the herd. The third law is the velvet rope. Exclusion is the ultimate aphrodisiac. If everyone can have it, no one wants it. The fourth law is the crumbling idol. Let them know that what you offer is fleeting. It is here now, but it is already decaying, soon to be lost forever. The fifth law is the golden ratio of information. Tell them enough to hook them, but withhold the vital piece that makes it whole. They will chase you for the missing cipher. The sixth law is the artificial drought. When demand is high, choke the supply. Watch them tear each other apart for the last drops. The seventh law is the illusion of finality. Make them believe that once you walk away, you are gone forever. The fear of permanent loss is the strongest motivator in the human psyche. You have spent your life trying to fill cups that have no bottom. Stop pouring. Put the pitcher down. Step back into the shadows and watch how quickly they begin to thirst. Watch how they begin to worship what they cannot touch. The speaker takes a slow sip from their glass. The lighting shifts subtly, the shadows deepening as the frame widens, dissolving the modern room into the stone interior of a Renaissance workshop. The air is thick with dust and the smell of linseed oil. We are no longer being addressed. We are observing. The principle is timeless, as true in the ancient world as it is in the digital one. Consider the city-state of Viora, a merchant empire dripping in gold, where everything could be bought and therefore nothing was valued. In Viora lived a master glassblower named Elara. Her work was technically flawless, shimmering with colors that seemed trapped from twilight itself. Yet she was starving. For years she had done what she was told. She set up a stall in the Grand Bazaar. She displayed her wares openly. She smiled at passers-by. She lowered her prices when they haggled. She drowned the market in beauty, and the wealthy matrons of Viora treated her creations as mere trinkets, bargaining for them as if they were common turnips. She was the employee who always said yes, and she was invisible. Then Elara understood. One morning, the bazaar awoke to find Elara's stall boarded up. A simple sign hung on the timber: "The kiln is cold. The final pieces are spoken for." She retreated to her workshop on the edge of the city, built high on a cliffside, difficult to reach. She covered her windows with heavy drapes. The first week there was confusion. The second week, irritation. By the third week, the whispers began. Why had she stopped? Who had bought the final pieces? Was it the Duke of Milan? The Pope himself? Rumor, the bastard child of scarcity, began to do her work for her. A month later, Lord Valerius, the wealthiest shipping magnate in Viora, A man who grew bored the moment he obtained anything, found himself obsessing over a set of cobalt goblets he had once seen in her stall and dismissed as overpriced. Now that he could not have them, they were all he could think of. He sent a servant up the treacherous cliff path to her door. The servant returned empty-handed, bearing only a message: "The master artisan is not receiving visitors." Valerius was incensed. No one refused him. He mounted his horse and rode up the cliff himself, banging on her heavy oak door with the hilt of his sword. Elara opened the door only an inch. The interior was dark, smelling of smoke and secrets. She wore rags, her face smudged with ash, looking utterly indifferent to his velvet and jewels. "I want the cobalt goblets," Valerius demanded, holding up a heavy purse of gold coins, triple her old price. Elara looked at the purse with mild distaste. "The cobalt line is finished, my lord. The sand required for that specific shade is gone. There will be no more." She employed the fourth law, the crumbling idol. "Everything has a price," Valerius snarled. "Perhaps," Elara murmured, eyes drifting away, "there is one final piece. Not goblets. A decanter. The last breath of that blue fire. But it is not for you. It is destined for the emperor's table across the sea." The third law, the velvet rope. She excluded him and elevated the rival. Valerius felt a sickening spike of adrenaline. The thought of another man possessing the untouchable object was unbearable. "I will pay double whatever the emperor offered." Elara paused, seemingly torn. She opened the door just wide enough for him to step inside. In the center of the dark room, illuminated by a single shaft of light from the roof, sat the decanter. It was beautiful, yes, but just a month ago it would have been merely glass. Now, bathed in shadow, protected by her indifference, and threatened by the imaginary emperor, it was divine. "He stands to collect it at sundown tomorrow," Elara said quietly. "If it is gone by then, I will face his wrath. You have until dawn to decide if your gold outweighs his anger." The second law, the hourglass. Valerius did not sleep that night. The image of the decanter taunted him. The restriction gnawed at his gut. He was a man used to the abundance of the sea, but he was drowning in a drought of Elara's making. At first light he returned. He did not bring a purse. He brought a chest. He poured gold onto her workbench, an amount that could buy a small fleet of ships. He didn't pay for the glass. He paid for the relief of the restriction. He paid to stop the chase. He killed his own fortune to possess what was limited. Elara took the gold without smiling. She wrapped the decanter in rough burlap and handed it to him as if it were a loaf of bread. As Valerius rode down the cliff, clutching his prize, he felt a profound sense of victory, never realizing he had been defeated the moment he knocked on her door. Back in the workshop, Elara watched him go. She swept the gold into a sack. Then she walked to the back of her shop and pulled a tarp off a crate. Underneath were 50 more decanters, identical to the first. She picked one up, examining the cobalt flawlessness in the shaft of light, and allowed herself the smallest, coldest smile. She understood the truth. What slips away they chase. What is limited they kill to possess. And the architect of that limitation holds the world in their hands.